Today we talk the season premiere of Don't Be Tardy, Eggs on Ice. Isn't 6 kids enough? I don't know. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, welcome guys. Welcome to the season premiere of Don't Be Tardy. How exciting is it?
Season 5.
I'm your host, Elayna. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Hey It's Lay. To my left, we have Suzette. Where can they find you?
Hey guys, Suzette Babb. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram.
And on the end, we have Candace.
Candace Rice. I go by Pim Fried Rice _ Pim Fried Rice on Instagram, Pim Fried _ Rice on Twitter.
And it's time for the party. Like, it's literally time for the party. We just wrapped the first episode of season 5.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm really excited just to see what's gonna come with it. How did you guys enjoy the episode?
This episode was phenomenal. I always love that they're such a family unit. Like, there's so much fun in the house. There's laughter. There's, like, I grew up with just one brother, so I'm always, like, envious watching Kim and all the kids and Kroy and, you know, the stylist and the chef. And I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to be a very fun season.
And I'm really liking kind of the vibe of the story, you know, with her having this stroke, and so seeing how she's going to, you know, execute life a lot differently now that she has, like, this newfound perspective after, you know, getting sick and everything. So I'm kind of excited to see, you know, how she's going to get out there.
And speaking of the stroke, let's just dive right into that. If you guys are all caught up on the previous seasons or even just her life, she was on Dancing with the Stars, and 8 hours before one of her performances, she had a stroke.
Yeah.
And then she went into the hospital. She has to have heart surgery. She planned it around Dancing with the Stars, which is scary because she's only 37 years old.
Right.
Super really scary. Young. And like they had said, I mean, if anything ever happened to her, there's a big family and there's little babies, and it was completely shocking. And I was really bummed that she couldn't go further with Dancing with the Stars, because obviously when you're in a contract and that happened, she couldn't go back on. And I was bummed because she's someone that isn't a dancer. So it's really nice to me when they have, you know, celebrities on that are learning a trade and get excited. And she really seemed to give like 110%. Like, you could tell she was nervous, she was excited. Her and Mark were dancing. So it was a huge shock because she's had 6 children. You'd think she'd be, so healthy.
So many.
6 children's a lot. She has 4 kids under the age of 5. Like, 4 toddlers just running wild and running crazy. So after she, had the stroke and she went to the doctor and everything like that, she's on this new high for life. Mm-hmm. She's on a mission to just do life right and not focus on her hair not being done, as she mentioned in the show, or her car being dirty. And she even wants to have another child.
Okay, now.
Which is crazy. She has 6 kids.
Yeah, but then why do you stop if you have 6 and you have all the help and you have all the kids helping raise the other kids?
Hand-me-downs.
Yeah, why stop?
You really have to buy nothing new.
Well, they can't afford it, clearly.
Exactly.
Dude, your oldest kid is like 18 years old and you're trying to bring a new baby in. It's just...
True.
We saw how crazy the house was.
YOLO.
But I absolutely am happy that, she is getting back to her health, and she's back to her health, and she is just high off life and wanting to get through more, wanting to have more kids and things like that. So just jumping into the episode today, we got to see a lot of the children talk more. So usually for me, Ariana was always a lot more quiet on the show.
She's super vocal. She's like, I feel like she's more of an adult than Brielle.
Absolutely.
No offense, but she is.
She's so mature.
She's very, very smart.
And even Kim letting us know that, she's the biggest helper. She's an athlete. She's an A student.
A student, correct.
And she's only 14.
And they're all boy crazy, though.
I mean, well, who wasn't at that age,
I actually wasn't that boy crazy
around
that age. But then Ariana has, Brielle as a big sister, and Brielle is boy crazy, and she dove right into her relationship last season with
Slade.
Right.
Yes.
So it's almost like, if this is my big sister, then she's all boy crazy. Why not be boy crazy? And they're beautiful. They're beautiful girls.
But it's also scary because they're on social media. So they're snapping. They have tons of followers. So I'm sure they get messages.
Yeah.
Like, how do you really, facilitate that as a mother to have beautiful girls, and who really knows what's going down?
How do you even swallow the pill of Brielle being on Tinder? and her profile picture of that.
And it's like, why do you have to be? You're in Atlanta. Like, can't you go out and date and meet
Well,
people?
I'm sorry. I've been in Atlanta. It's not a lot of straight
Available
options.
men.
You know, there are men.
That's true.
They're just not always available to us women.
But you're 18. So just go back to when you were 18. You don't need a dating app at 18 unless you're trying to just hook up.
But can we talk about the fact that season 4 ended where it sounded like she had like 3 months to decide what she's doing, and we didn't see anything in the first episode, but she does look a little different.
She does look a little different.
Yes.
When I saw her, I was like, she's a lot more insinuated.
She's very voluptuous, and we're like super fans, so this is no shade, but I think that it is a white elephant to bring up plastic surgery.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
And so this is my thing. I mean, obviously, my initial thought is she's 18. She's a kid. Wait a little bit until you get. My body didn't fill out until like 23. And I mean, if you see me, I'm like a stick. But
we're all still filling out.
I didn't start to get curves until like, my early 20s. So I would have just waited a little bit for that. But then she lives in a whole different world. She has a superstar mom.
Right.
She has a superstar stepfather. They have this money. So it's kind of, her world. How do you guys feel about that?
I think that at that age, you can be so insecure about your looks, and then social media has such a different influence on those coming up than it did like on us when we were young. So there was no Instagram. Instagram wasn't as big. All these other social sites. I think we had MySpace.
Oh, we did have MySpace.
Yeah, we had MySpace.
I love
It was
MySpace.
Without filters.
Exactly. I know you had your top 8, everything. So it's like, and so now they're coming up in this world that's so heavily influenced by looks and Kylie and all these other things. So I think that she's in a position where if they have the money to spend it and she feels any little bit of insecurity, hey, why not get it done? I mean, I do believe in being like the best version of yourself as a woman in entertainment. But I do agree. If as a mother, I probably would have been like, maybe wait a couple of years. If you really feel that insecure about your lips or your chest or your midsection or anything like that, wait till you're like 22. I'll give it to you as a birthday present in 4 or 5 years,
Or not even. You want plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Move out the house.
The one thing I'll say though with Kim is they're very, very honest about plastic surgery. We saw on Brielle's Snapchat, she had it there when she got her lips done. Like you literally saw the video. She's like, I had this done today. Do I think right now it might be a little overboard, but at the same time, like when I was young, I was experimenting with makeup and there's looks that I'm like, oh really, I went there. And it is really hard because they are reality stars and you are dealing with the Kardashians, and I think everyone is still influenced by some things they do. But Kim was honest. We saw her, she got her breasts done. Now she has admitted that she's getting her lips done too. So you can't hate, and those that are hating, they're still looking at their page.
Yeah.
So it's like
the greatest part about it also is just that Kim and all of her children, they have such a great relationship.
Absolutely.
Like watching the show, you feel the love. You're almost like, I want to come over for dinner. Like, let me be a part of the family. You know what I mean?
Please.
Even with how Brielle talks to her mom, you can tell that they have this big friendship. And Kim admitted on previous seasons that she was young when she had Brielle, so she kind of did have that friend-to-friend relationship in a sense, but she still puts her daughter first.
Yeah.
So if she felt like that was, I'm pretty sure Brielle went to her mom about it, and she was like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. And we have to respect that. That's not,
And she probably drove her there. And it's like, if you want to do this, so. And we'll see how that plays out, though, because that's hard if you're friends with your mom and dad, because then when it's like you need to become your own individual, that's tough, too.
Speaking of becoming your own individual and just the future, can we talk about Rose, Kim's psychic? Like, I really just almost want to bring her here and say, here, what do my palms
What do you
say,
think?
Rose?
Am I getting a raise? Thank you.
Like,
Am I going to be 90?
Right, she told Ariana that she's gonna live until 90 years old, and granted, they didn't care. They're just like,
That was so random, though. Like, you could be 90 and ill. Like, I'm like, well, I mean, that was
am
kind
I
of
gonna
strange.
be healthy, or am I gonna be on my deathbed? We need to know these things. And even getting the flashback from previous seasons to know how accurate Rose has always been, it's kind of scary.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I don't really know how I feel about the psychic world. Like, I don't know if I absolutely believe it, but Kim seems to be like, she's convinced.
Well, and she's also a card and palm reader, so it might be a little different because she's not saying like I predict this. She's actually going by like the lines and what I love is, you know, Kim is someone who seems to value relationships, and if she loves you, you're around forever. And that's really, really cool because we've seen Rose, and now Rose is like with the children, and it is like I'm happy we're still seeing a lot of the family unit.
It's
and
still
even more.
constant. Like it's the constant individuals that we've been getting from before, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But we did see a little conflict when when Rose didn't tell Kim that she was having another child. You know, she wants a 7th child, not including the dog. She wants a 7th child. So when Rose didn't say, hey, Creed is in the future, she was just like, I don't know.
We'll make it happen.
She was like, Rose is not God. I'll still, if I want Creed, I'll have him, which was so funny to me. So, I mean, Rose.
7 kids.
That's a lot. But Rose, if you're watching, please, you know, come on here and let's do some palm reading with each other and see how
Tell me
see
if I'll
how
make
that
$1
goes.
million.
I love that.
And even leading up to season 5, you know, Kim and Kroy have been in the media. They've been on social media. There's been a lot of news and gossip surrounding them. So I kind of just want to, you know, get your thoughts on a few of those things and see how you feel about it. So rumor has it that Kim may be joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta again. And some people are not excited about that. What? How do you guys feel about that?
Obviously, that was when I first fell in love with her. I love her authenticity on the show.
You got it.
She's just, she came in as a woman that didn't look like everybody else on the cast and was able to make people love her and make the fans love her.
Absolutely.
And so I'm coming from and looking at it from a household where, you know, my aunts and uncles and cousins was watching the show, and we all fell in love with Kim. And sometimes it's hard to win over an audience that doesn't look like you. So I loved Kim on the show. I'm all for it. Kim, go back to where you started. Hey, I love it.
I think I actually started watching Real Housewives of Atlanta because of Kim, because of like the Kim and Nene dynamic.
Yes.
And I stayed with it because obviously the other individuals are interesting as well. But, you know, she's part of the original cast.
She is.
So I'm not really sure I'm not really sure where she would fit in without Nene there. They both were, you know, a part of the original cast, and they had their friendship. Even though they had the falling out, they kind of became acquainted again. So seeing her on the show would just be a little... She would, again, add that dynamic that's interesting, that's not there, that is missing.
Yeah.
She would be that sense of diversity. She would, you know, still... But her life right now, she seems, at least from what we get from Don't Be Tardy, she's so removed from the drama. So
really,
it's
really is. Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with Kim on Houses of Atlanta. I loved her. I loved the Big Papa storyline.
Oh, I
like,
did too.
Yeah, she was like kind of this like loose cannon, but I've really fallen out of love with Real Houses of Atlanta the last 2 seasons. I've really like tried to start watching it. I never finished last season, just to be honest. I think that like cast-wise, I'm just not connecting. So I really don't, you know, unless they're thinking they'd have her on to kind of save Grace. But the reason why she left in the first place was because of, they had the lunch, they were talking about going on the trip, the girls' trip, and she was pregnant.
Right.
And she was like, I am not going, I'm pregnant. And they were so upset because it's like, because you're pregnant, you can't go. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then she walked out and Kroy picked her up, and that was it. So I just realistically, I think she's on a different realm. She doesn't really need housewives. And that's not to be negative. I can't see her leaving her children or family to go have a lunch. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I just don't see her surrounded with the cast. There's no like, I don't see the dynamic.
There's
being
way
great.
too much drama.
Yeah, I don't see the dynamic being great. Also in the media, we know that Kroy is not on a team right now, which would be interesting to follow throughout the show, because when we got a preview into what's going to happen this season, we kind of know he's going to go back into free agency. So I'm more so just wondering, do you guys think the family dynamic will change as far as the stability?
Well, of course. I mean, if he's going back, you know, back to work and what he does, that's going to make things, of course, a whole lot harder on Kim. However, you know, she has the comfortability of getting a nanny and getting help from her family, and, you know, her daughters are older and everything else. But I definitely, no question about it, when one person leaves the household and they're so close-knit, they're so fun together, and Kroy, obviously, he adds that. So, yeah.
And I think the boys just love him so much that I think she loves to have him there for that. Because I remember, I mean, obviously we're kind of months ahead from where we are now with him being with Buffalo and then leaving. I remember her snaps. It seemed very sad. She's like in the parking lot, like waiting for him. And I thought, oh, this would be interesting. Like, but I kind of would like to see Kroy maybe do something else. So I'm interested to see what will happen. Like, I mean, 8 years in the NFL is like unheard of.
And maybe that opens the door because on previous seasons, every time he was off for camp, you know, she would get so sad, she would get so depressed, she would try to be there as much as she can. So having him home and then maybe putting him in a different outlet to work will just be that to bring them even closer. And maybe that'll help Brielle take her own independency and, you know, just flourish into her own woman.
I hope so. There's just really so much love and there's so much support in that family. So I'm curious to see what happens.
And for all of the Kim fans out there, you guys know that she has a cosmetic line, which we're going to get into once we get more into the season. We're going to get to see how she created, you know, just all of her products, mostly what scent she wanted. So I'm excited about that. Have you actually tried any of her?
I haven't. It just started shipping a couple days ago, and I didn't like put my foot on it to like purchase it. It was kind of a higher price point, and I wasn't too sure. So I have not yet got to smell it, try it. I mean, I've been seeing nothing but like really, really good reviews, and I'm curious like to see the process because there's so many celebrities. I don't know if a lot of you know how it works like with branding, but let's say a celebrity wants a lipstick, okay? They're probably not really creating it. What they're doing is there's wholesalers, like, and they'll look at colors and they put like their sticker on it. So sometimes what you're getting is, it's theirs, but they haven't like really created it.
From scratch.
Exactly.
Right.
So the fact that she went with a chemist, like this is actually hers. And it just seems very like organic, like it was very natural for her just to go into this. Like I think it seems like a passion project, so I'm like dying to try it.
Wow.
Definitely. So if any of you out there have actually tried the product, please tweet us, comment in the comment section, let us know, you know, how well you're enjoying it. I'm excited to looking to see.
Yeah,
Let me know. 'Cause I had a friend tell me it was expensive. And I was like, I can't afford it. But, you know, if you're giving out samples, Ken, you know, let me know.
Candace is the one to holler at. Let's all know. Actually, I'll take a sample too. You know, I'm not against samples at all. So now in the show, it's time for some predictions.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
I was like,
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
let me see. What do I think?
Channel it.
Honestly, I don't know.
What
What do you guys think is gonna happen?
Okay, I'll go
this
first.
season?
Well, it doesn't help because we see previews. Well, Brielle, this is something that I'm interested about because we're all hosts and performers, and you know how difficult it is to get your foot into the door. So now, like, she has these like opportunities with E and different things, and hosting is not like as easy as people think, you know. So I'm curious to see how well she'll do. Do people really connect with her? Are they saying, "Oh yeah, I want to hear the news from her"? Like, I mean, I miss the old like Mary Hart days. You know, I kind of miss some of that, but it feels like now it's like a reality star as a host. So that's a journey to me that's very interesting. Is it something that she really, really does want to do, or does it just seem kind of like the next cool thing? So I don't know. I guess my predictions is maybe she'll have a chance, but you know, we'll have to see if she can really hold her own.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I kind of want to know how Ariana's personality is going to evolve throughout the season. I saw some clips, you know, of her, you know, getting her voice out there. So I kind of want to know, like, you know, how's that 14-year-old gonna step into womanhood?
I'm right there with you. Like, my prediction is that this season we're gonna see so much more from Ariana, especially that she's, you know, she's not at that awkward 13, although she's still like a teen. She's more so getting deeper into her teenage years, and this is around the time that we were introduced to Brielle. So I'm very excited to see where, you know, how vocal she's gonna become. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be because Kim told us that she's boy crazy, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some kind of boyfriend or some kind of date nights or something like that. So I don't know. Well, don't mark me on. Don't hold me to my word. But my prediction is that we're going to see so much more from Ariana this season, which is exciting.
Yeah. One more thing, too, that I'm kind of bummed about. even though I know Kim is all about like positivity, I am kind of bummed that we haven't heard anything about her mom, that whole situation, and about Kroy's parents. Because I know for me personally, you know, it is hard when you have falling out with anyone in your family. And I know that they probably want this show to be really fun and exciting. And, you know, I do wonder about that because it's strange. I mean, I think Kim and Kroy are like lovely people. And it's sad that, you know, to have this huge family and they don't touch base with their grandparents. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wish that it would because it is something that's interesting to me. It's on a deeper level.
Right, definitely because it was introduced to us on the show when we saw Brielle, you know, on account of crying and when they were trying to hash it out. So because it was introduced to us on the show, we kind of want it to be complete. You know, where do you guys stand now? How is that going? So maybe a prediction can be that this season we'll kind of get more into that, especially since, you know, they're so family oriented.
And if you had a stroke, wouldn't your parents reach out?
Definitely because, you know, she's doing life differently. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a little bit of that this season, at least an update.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll just have to stay tuned. And that's all we have for you guys today. But next week we'll be right here at the same time reviewing episode 2. So make sure you stay tuned. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Don't be tardy.
Don't be
Season
tardy.
5.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.